Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I haven't made a video for quite a long time, as you're probably aware, but something happened on Steam today that made me think about train simulators again. Um, there was a update from Dovetail, the people that make Train Simulator, about the future of Train Simulator Classic. This one here. Now, years ago, I used to be really into train simulators, but I kind of fell out of love with this particular game because when it was the main train simulator, they would basically update it every year and you'd get a free update, but hardly anything would change really. The graphics were not very good. It was very outdated at that point, and you were relying on third party companies who are making most of the good add-ons. However, now is a few years later, so I thought I'd make a video. What is the situation if you like any of the train simulator games from Dovetail 2023? Because obviously we're right at the end of 2022. It's going to be over very soon. So we're kind of looking forward to next year. So interestingly enough, since they moved on from the regular train simulator, they then started on train sim world. They brought out a first one, they brought out the second one. So this was in 2020, and they've recently brought out the third one 2 years later. Now, from my side, what I can see is that these games seem to be updated with the graphics. It seems to play more like a modern game. Whereas when they were on this version, they would update it every year, but the graphics were outdated and they weren't really adding a lot. However, the major difference is that they used to give everyone a free upgrade every year for this game. And for this game, you actually have to, every year you have to purchase it again. However, if you buy any add-ons for the first or the second game, most of them should work on the third game. And another thing that's a bit like a caveat is that if you have the Xbox Game Pass, this game is out on there. So in effect, you might not have to pay for it every year, because it seems like that they are just adding it in the Game Pass if you have that. So the question is it worth buying any of these train simulators in 2023? So what have they announced with the Train Simulator Classic? Well, they said a lot of things that were basically saying that they are going to actually keep the game updated, because there is a lot of third-party content that people really like and still want to play. So they're trying to say that, yes, they will actually keep the game stable and they will update it. They've also said they're going to add a new user interface and they're going to do some upgrades. Whether that happens, we'll have to see. But yes, I think if you're a hardcore fan of this game, you will be happy about that. But for my personal side, for me, this game is already way outdated, and even though I own a lot of content on this game, I don't ever see myself really going back. And then for me personally, again, I don't really like this new way of asking you to pay every year. I mean, they are actually giving you some routes for free, but then again, why don't they just have one game which is called Train Sim World and just update that and just rely more on the DLC? Because I feel that when you end up with this, the Train Sim World 1 and 2 and 3, it's like every 2 years there's a new version. I mean, are they going to end up with Train Sim World 100? I don't know, but it's like, for me, that's really confusing, especially when you call it Train Sim World. For me, that should be like the overall thing, the only game. They just have one, they keep it updated, and then they, rather than asking you to buy for a new version of the game, they're just going to ask you to buy for the DLC. And as long as they make sure that there's a lot of really good DLC, then I think that would work, and it would be a lot less confusing. For me, I don't think I'm personally actually going to get back into this game, because what happens with this game is you end up feeling like you have to buy a lot of DLC for it to be worthwhile. And you can see already there's a lot of DLC here, and if you were to buy all this DLC, that would be a ridiculous price. So for me, I would not really say that, I would say that this game is only for if you're really hardcore into train simulators. If you're a casual, and I would say right now, making this video, I'm more of a casual train simulator player, then I wouldn't really go for this, because you will feel that you have to spend loads of money for you to actually get a decent experience. There are other train simulators out there that are a lot cheaper, that don't have a model where you have to buy loads of DLC, where you could still experience driving a train, but you wouldn't, but it's basically a complete experience with one purchase. Whereas with this game, I think only very hardcore train simulator fans I would be happy to have a situation where they end up buying a lot of this DLC. And I'm also wondering how much of this DLC is new, really, because I can see things that I used to play on the old version of the game. I saw the Isle of Wight thing here, so I'm hoping that they have upgraded it onto this new engine, this new game. What I would say is, before you buy any of the DLC, I would read all of the reviews and see what the people are saying, because when you have so much, that's a good way for you to find out which ones are best. So yes, if you're a hardcore simulator, train simulator fan in 2023, I think you would be happy with this game, especially if you have the Xbox Game Pass. But for casual train simulator gamers, I would say I would go for something else. Anyway, thank you for watching, and this video has been a lot about my opinion, obviously, so I would love to know what you think about this whole train simulator thing from Dovetail in 2023. One thing that I will say is that this game, the original game, was never really reviewed particularly well, whereas at least these ones seem to be getting slightly better reviews. And now I say that, this one is now on mostly positive. But in general, I think these games were received slightly better, because I think a lot of people felt when this game was at its end, the same as I felt, that basically it was very outdated and it wasn't really worth the money at that point. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I've certainly let you know what I think. Thank you for watching.